Alrighty, howdy neighbors and welcome back to Cemetary Mary. Last time we finished with Twyla, and now we're gonna start with Reginald. Good morning, Miss Mary Anta. Hello. I hope you're doing well today. You had asked about a book the other day, right? Well, I actually finished it quicker than I expected to. I'd really love to give it to you, but I won't be at the library today. I'm actually going to be at the cemetery. You like that place though, right? You just come see me, then I can pass the book over to you. I'll be there quarter afternoon or so. Maybe after we can grab lunch or something. Also, I want to point this out. I want you to look at this. Doesn't it look like there's only 9? And then you go, and there's so many more. It's rude. It's rude. Advertise that you have that many, please, and thank you. Anyway. I hope that doesn't come off weird. I just like some company for my lunch break. Call me back. No. And message by each of them. However, I only have time to meet up with one of them today. Where should I go today? Let's go to the cemetery. It's Reginald time. It was a tough choice, but I had to choose one of them. I told the others I had plans. And then I'd meet up with them some other time. Then when noon rolled around, I headed to my destination. Reginald was not outside of the cemetery gates, as I had expected. So I dove deeper into the cemetery. At first I was worried he had already left, but eventually I was able to find him on one of the paths. He seemed to be looking at a few graves, as if he was looking for someone. I called out to him as to not startle him. He noticed me and waved me over, so I made my way over to him. Hello again, Reginald. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. I'm surprised you showed up. I thought you might be busy, such last minute. Well, even if you weren't here, I'd probably be here anyways. Besides, I wanted to see you. I thought it'd be nice to talk again, since last time we were both preoccupied with books. I'm glad to hear that. I was thinking the same thing. Speaking of books, before I forget, Reginald handed me the book from the other day. Don't worry about checking it out at the library. I told them I'd be giving it to you. And I had them extend the due date under your name. Oh, thank you, I think. I'm surprised they let you do that. Anyway, why are you here? I'm missing someone. I know it hasn't been too long since the funeral service, so... Oh heavens no. Ha. Sorry for me to think that. I'm just here for business. Business? Do you work at the cemetery? Because I've never seen you around here before, you know. Oh, no. I agreed to meet the caretaker here, as I couldn't get off work. You see, I'm a coffin maker. And well, someone's in need of a coffin soon. Oh, you're a coffin maker. Look at her eyes. You never told me that. That's wow. That's really neat, actually. Ha. Are you impressed by that? Well, you know, I'm really into these things, you know. I'm always here for a reason, after all. Sorry I didn't mention it to you sooner then. If you like coffins, I could show you a few I've designed. I have a portfolio back at home, but I'm sure I have a few pictures on my phone I could show you too. Oh, yes, please do. I'd really love to see. Now this is wholesome after the garbage that happened last time. Rachel showed me a few pictures on his phone of some coffins he made. They're also detailed and intricate. They seem personalized to the person they belong to. I was taken aback. I could have stared at them all day if he'd let me. Wow, those are really beautiful. You really made those. I'd love to be a bird in one of those one day. What? Is that weird? Yes. Aw, no, you flatter me. I'm happy you like them so much.
Haha,
what's with that look? Well, look, I wasn't making a look. So I just had a sneaky suspicion. But no, I'm sure I'm wrong. Suspicion? About what? Oh, I was just thinking that you'd want me to design a coffin based off you, too. Wait, are you serious? I mean, I know I don't need it right now, but I'd be so happy if you did. I mean, we hardly know each other, and that's so generous. Oh, it's nothing, really. I thought someone like you would appreciate the offer. And I could always use a new muse. It'd be my pleasure. Especially if it would make you that happy. You just have to promise me you won't be dying on me anytime soon. Ha ha. Ha ha. Oh my god. Sorry, the idea of it is so flattering. Do you really think I'd make a good muse for one? Absolutely. When we met, I remember you telling me how much you loved this place. Who could ever be better for inspiration for my work? I know you love the cemetery, so we can stay here for a while if you want. But I will have to leave for my lunch break soon, if you're still willing to join me. Alright. We can go whenever you'd like. Although I do kind of feel bad. Croven invited me for lunch today too. Who's Croven? None of your fucking business. Look at him. I mean, we're not actually blood related. We're not like in-laws or anything either. His family just happened to be really close to mine ever since we were kids. It's like cousin, even though he's not one. But sometimes he can feel more like an annoying older brother. Especially with nasty attitude lately. Nasty attitude? Yeah, he's been very easy to upset lately. I guess I can't really blame him. I know I don't really help. Well, I think you made the right decision to come here instead. You do. Absolutely. You shouldn't force yourself to be around someone who's making you feel so bad. Really, Mary, you have to take care of yourself, you know. Let's go somewhere. Oh, so let's go somewhere you don't even have to think about it. Don't worry about a boy like that. And if he ever really gets on your nerves, you can always give me a call. I won't mind. I understand how frustrating some people can be sometimes. You mean that? Thanks, Reginald. It means a lot to me. Of course. Come now, let's get going. Oh, and on the way. Maybe you can recommend one of those shoujo mangas to me. I've been meaning to find one to read. Reginald and I went to find somewhere to eat on his lunch break. Even though I hadn't known him for long, he was treating me as if we were always friends. It was a strange feeling, but I can't say it was one that was unwelcome. He talked so casually, without pauses or hesitance in his voice. I couldn't understand why. It just felt so bizarre. And not even in a bad way, maybe I'm still not used to making friends. But I was glad I had the chance now, and with someone who... Before we could decide on anywhere to go, Reginald received a phone call. It was a client of his. He looked at me apologetically, and then told me he had to leave right away. He told me it was alright and we parted ways. After he left, I headed back to the cemetery. I didn't see anyone else there for the rest of the day. I never know if it's a good thing anymore. When I got back home that night, I did my usual routine. And to finish it off, I pulled up to my bed and took out my phone, just like usual. Hi. Hello. Can we talk about the thing you said the other night? I've been able to stop thinking about it ever since you said it. It's bothering you. Oh, we've seen this several times. Who you really are? You... Meeting a friend. Again, we've seen all this, that's why I'm skipping. Gonna go to Mom and Dad's room. Call Reginald, he's close by. I believe they called Reginald. He's close by, so you can get here the quickest. Maybe on his way over, you might see the intruder. Come on, please pick up. Hello, Mary. Reginald? Reginald, you're at the cemetery right now, right? Yes, why? Can you come over here? Over where? Next door, the diner. I'm here and I really need your help. Help? What's wrong? What happened? Yes, I know you're here. Can you please just come over? Certainly, I'll be there momentarily. Thank you. It was only a few minutes before Reginald got here, but it felt like hours to me. As he arrived, he commented on how shaken I looked, and asked what happened. I told him. Everything. But how my parents were missing, and how I was supposed to be here. As if he had seen any hooded person on his way over, looking like they were in a rush. But he said he didn't see anything. I wasn't really sure what he could do to help, but he offered to look around with me to see if there's anything they left behind. I thought it sounded like a good idea at the time. It made the most sense in my head. We started the dining area and slowly worked our way upstairs. I guess I must have looked really scared. The look Reginald gave me when he faced me again looked so worried. It worried me even more. He reassured me that I didn't have to worry, offered to hold my hand to help me calm down. I accepted. I looked around, but couldn't find anything suspicious left behind. However, I investigated my room and noticed one of my plushies disappeared. It's one of my favorites, and I always kept it right on the shelf next to my bed, so it couldn't have gotten lost so easily. Did they take it? That put my stomach in knots. I think they must have been in here while I was dozing off in the other room. Oh God. Ugh. Eventually we gave up on looking. There was nothing else of note. It's not like we could really do anything else right now. We headed back downstairs. At the very least, having Reginald here was able to calm me down some. Mary, I'm very sorry I wasn't able to help you as much as you would have liked. What? No, don't say that. You helped me a lot. I'm very glad you came. Really, I feel a lot better. Really, you're sure? Yes, thank you. Well, I'm glad I was able to help in at least one regard. You know, I've been wondering why this place closed down so suddenly. I had no idea it's because its owners went missing. A shame, too. I know I had only been here when we first met, but I would have loved to come again. I'm sorry, that was the wrong choice of words. I didn't mean... No, I'm fine. It's fine. It'll open again once they come back. Oh, for your safety, then. Can you please not come in here until they come back? I don't know who was in here earlier. There's a possibility they might come back. They could be dangerous, right? And what if you got hurt? You have to look out for yourself, Mary. I'm sure you missed your parents dearly. But they wouldn't want you putting yourself in danger now, would they? Yeah, I suppose you're right. Never even thought of it that way. You're right. I'll look this place up again. Then at least if that person does come back, at least they can't get in. This sounds like a good idea. Here, let's go. Why don't you walk around the cemetery with me? I'm sure it'll at least feel better than staying here. Yeah, you're right. I think I'd like that, thank you. I let Reginald take me to the cemetery, away from the diner. He told me to show him all my favorite spots. Occasionally, he'd ask about a decorated grave. Ask if I knew who the person was. I was just able to have more answers for him. The rest of my day was pretty hazy. I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. I didn't really feel any sort of relief until I got into bed that night. But you know, that's never the relieving part of my day anyway. And Mom was the issue. Oh, right. This is the funeral. Don't know him. Ow. Not alone. Reginald's here. Sorry, I know I'm skipping a lot, but it's because we already saw this with both Croven and Twyla. So when it stops skipping, that's when I read. Reginald, what are you doing here? I just happened to be walking by when I noticed you in there. Is everything alright? Oh yes, everything's fine. She wasn't like a family member or anything like that. Oh, that's a relief. It's always a sad thing, is it not? Yes, it is. It's okay. I know I don't see it that way. Hmm? Well, since you're here, would you mind helping me with something? No. I was about to head down to the store to pick up a few things. Just some screws, nails, a hammer or two. Just some stuff I'm running low on and need to replace. You all might help with this. I'm not very educated in tools and all. Oh no, that's alright, you don't need to be. I just appreciate the company is all. But if you'd rather not... Oh no! I mean, yeah, I can come. It's not like I have anything better to do. Ha ha. Lovely. Come with me. I hope you don't mind that we'll have to walk. I would have brought my car, but it was too nice of a day to pass up a chance to walk. In the rain? Rightly so. A little water never hurt anyone. I guess you got a point. Reginald's logic doesn't really make sense to me. I decided to accompany him to the hardware store anyway. It's not like I ever go in there, so it'd be a nice change of pace. Come to think of it, I don't actually know what the hardware store was located until Reginald showed me. I guess it's good that I know now. If someone asks me where the hardware store is, I'll know how to answer. Hardware store isn't too far from where we were, but it felt like quite a walk since I didn't know how to get there. Come to think of it, I can't remember the last time I was actually been in a hardware store. As Reginald held the door open for me, the smell of fertilizer wafted forward, quite intense. We entered into what looked like the gardening section. What the fuck? What the hell is this? Don't eat screws. No. Oh, what the fuck? Oh yeah, wildflowers for bees! Love that for the bees. Well, here we are. Thank you again for coming along, I really do appreciate it. Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me. It has to go somewhere different. Oh, what is that you need to get in? Oh, I've got a list in my pocket, actually. Hey, would you like to turn it into a game? No! How do you mean? I'll split the list in half. We'll each take a half, and look for the items on our own. Then we'll come back here when we're finished. If you get here before me, I'll reward you. Reward me? I'll get a prize? Something like that. You'd have to beat me first. Okay, I think I can do that, maybe. Let's do it then. Archer Reginald ripped his list in half and handed one half over to me. Fair warning, though. I know the store like the back of my hand. Hey, I might still win. After that, Reginald went on his own and left me with my share of the list. Let's see here. Antifreeze, an axe, tape measure, rat poison. Well, that's not very nice. I'll mention that to him later. But now I have to get things on the list. After all, now I had a challenge to win. I didn't anticipate how big the store was. It really looked big from the outside, but now that I was walking in it, it was huge. I had a weird feeling walking in here by myself, especially considering I didn't really come to these places. Oops, sorry. I don't know what I was really expecting, but it was so empty. I didn't even see any workers around. Despite that, I kept hearing footsteps. Reginald, I called out. No response. What am I doing? This place isn't scary. I'm just gonna get the things he asked me for. It was on the list. Wait, hey, where'd the list go? Did I drop it somewhere? Oh, shoot. That's okay. Pretty sure I remember what's on it. Let's get those things and find our way back to the front. I just have to get antifreeze. I picked up a gallon of antifreeze. Should I get the blue one? Wait, maybe he wants the green one. Maybe I'll ask him later. An axe? Picked up an axe. Hit the right kind. You're using it for wood, right? It should be good. What else would you use an axe for? It's heavy. Rat poison. Heard of the bottle of rat poison. Was it masking or measuring tape? Masking or measuring? Fuck. I think it was measuring. A roll of measuring tape. I used to play with these as a kid. Try to see how long I can stretch it. We're done. Picked up what I thought he would need and decided to head back up toward the counter. After all, if I took too long, I would lose the race. At least I knew my way back. At the very least, I got back to the meeting spot before Reginald did. I had to wait for about a minute before he showed up. I see you made it back before me. Well done. Well, do you have everything? Here you are. You did get it all! Mazel! I did it. And just the brands I like, too. You haven't been spying on me, have you? I went making sure Reginald had everything he needed. He and I headed up to the front counter to pay for it all. One by one, he put all his stuff on the conveyor belt. And slowly began to move across as the cashier began to scan it. You got quite a bit of stuff, Reginald. I feel bad. Why is that? Well, you don't have a car with you. Now you gotta carry these bags back home. Would you want me to help you? Oh, don't worry, you're still a little ahead about it. A little fresh air and exercise does me some good. You're not even going to take the bus? No, I'm quite alright. Reginald, can I ask you something? Yes, of course. Is everything alright? Alright, boys. It's unfortunate, but my apartment is having a bit of a rodent problem lately. And of course, the landlord won't take care of it, so someone has to do something. Does that upset you? Well, I don't know. I wish you'd use a more humane way to get rid of them. Right, I see. In that case, I won't buy it anymore. Well, after this time, I suppose. Really? Thanks. Makes me feel better. Hey, do you want anything? I got a shelf over there with some candy. I don't mind buying you a chocolate bar if you want one. Oh no, that's alright. You don't have to. Are you sure? I mean, is that supposed to be my price for winning the race? No. I'm still thinking about what your price should be. Since we're here anyway, might as well, right? Consider it a thank you for spending time with me today. Are you really sure? Of course I am. It's just a candy bar. It's not a big deal. In that case, thank you. Reginald bought me a candy bar. It made me very happy. Made sure to thank him for it. Even though he insisted, it was his thanks to me. After we left the store, Reginald headed back home. Had to head back home, saying he ought to drop off his tools and stuff. He said he felt bad for not being able to invite me to do more. I told him it was completely okay, that he didn't need to do anything. I had a nice time today. Time must really fly. Because when I checked the time afterward, we were already well into the afternoon. I ended up heading home a little early that day. I didn't have much else to do outside, so I went home. I read some books, made myself some dinner, and then put the leftovers in the fridge. Then I washed up, put on pajamas. Well, do I even have to explain what I did after that? Oh. This is new. So what'd you do today? What? Well, if you're not gonna talk about my parents to me, I'd at least want to hear about something that you're doing. You shouldn't talk about what I do. Oh, bitch, we're gonna! I want to. I understand. Maybe eventually. But not today. I'm sorry. I need to leave. Good night, Mary. I yawned and laid down. Who's texting me so late at night? It's Reginald, Mary. Are you awake? I understand if you aren't, of course. It's a bit late, isn't it? But whenever you read this, do respond. Reginald? Why are you up so late? Oh, hello. Don't Don't worry about that. I just thought of the perfect prize for you. And I had to tell you as soon as I possibly could. Really? What is that? You loved to see my work the other day, right? Unless you were just flattering me. Anyways. I was thinking you could come by my workshop. And I could show you how a coffin is made. At least, the way I do it. I thought it would be a nice idea if you're into it. You're serious? I'm allowed to come see? Of course you are. I wouldn't have invited you otherwise. But yeah, I'd love to see. I think that'd be really cool. Thank you so much. Of course, I'm often alone, so it'd be nice to have some company. Here, I'll send you the directions momentarily. Reginald gave me the directions to his workshop, and my plan is to meet there in a few days. I always wondered what went into making a coffin, so I was plenty excited to be able to see it for myself. There's only so much you can read online about stuff like this. Being able to experience it firsthand would be something entirely different. Honestly, it was a bit hard to contain how giddy I was. I felt like a kid again, excited for a field trip the next day. Well, back when I still went to school with the other kids and all. Anyways, I was excited. After feeling like I'd been waiting forever, the day finally arrived. Getting off the bus at the closest stop, I walked to the location Reginald told me to go. He told me it was a bit of ways off the sidewalk, and it's not too close to many buildings. And I honestly felt I'd walked into a whole new city. It definitely wasn't as brick and mortar as back where I'm used to being. There's so many trees and buildings were so spread. The grass grew in such a way that it didn't feel overgrown, despite it reaching a bit above your ankles. I walked down the town's cracked sidewalk until I came across the pebble path. And following it down, I caught sight of Reginald's workshop. It was so old-fashioned. It was big, but completely made of wood. It almost looked like its own little cottage out of the way. But it was charming, and I liked it. I went up to the door and gave it a few gentle knocks. I didn't hear anything at first, but then Reginald opened the door. Oh god. At first he had a not-so-happy expression on his face. He looks tired as hell. It was only for a split second, but I noticed it before it changed. Oh, Mary, you're here! Come in. Glad you could make it. He took a step into the workshop. It was so cozy in here. There was such gentle sunlight flowing in through the windows, and the smell of sawdust was prominent in the air. But it was a good kind of sawdust smell. What? It smelled like productivity and hard work. I actually just started my break. But you're free to look around and ask about things in the meantime. Are you sure? I don't want to bother you on your break. No nonsense. I can't think of a better way to spend my free time. So, anything you're curious about? I'm gonna go ahead and with the tools. The new tool's working out for you. Extravagantly so. I think that's because I had you helping me that day. Are you secretly a good luck charm? Ah. I think I feel more like the opposite if I'm honest. Oh, come now, don't say that. You haven't let me down yet. These are your work clothes. Oh, yes. Do you like them? Yeah, they look very nice. But your hair is still a bit loose, don't you think? Haha, yes, you're not the first to say that. But it's hard to control it all, and I can't bear to cut it. No worries, though. I assure you I haven't had an accident since. If I do, then you could just... Oh, then you could just tell me you told me so. Are you always alone here? Oh, not always. Okay, just about always. But that's alright. I don't mind it. I get to meet up with some others when they need bases and all. So I'm not always alone. So don't worry about it. Besides, are any of us ever really alone? He winked at me after saying that. They work in the back. Indeed it is. Here's his base right now, though. Nothing too special about it yet. I think it looks pretty good, though. Especially since it's not like I know how to do any of this stuff. Well, if you'd like, you can take a step aside. You'll be my little tester. Haha. Oh, really? Sure, I mean... Haven't you always wanted to know what it's like to lie in one? No. I know I have. Yeah. I'd like to try it if that's okay. Yes, it is. I wouldn't have offered otherwise. I stepped into the coffin. And though I was still standing upwards, I crossed my arms as if I had been laying down in it. Reginald gave me a teensy wave as he lifted the lid and placed it over the coffin, encompassing me in darkness inside. How does it feel in there? It's cozy, I think. I'm sure it'll be a lot cozier once it's finished. Maybe we'll add some nice cushions and shiny finish to really put it over the top. Heh, yeah. I always did wonder what it feels like in those. I guess you'll have to let me try it again when it's finished. Dots, dots, dots. Hello? Reginald? Dots. You're still there, right? Hello? So just let myself out then. Huh? I had pushed on the lid in front of me, but it didn't budge at all. I pushed harder, but to no avail. Reginald, can you hear me? I'd like to get out now. Haha. Hey. How much air is in here anyways? Tried pushing again. No use. But how much I yelled out to him, it seemed as if Reginald had just vanished. Hey! Let me out, please. Punched the lid and attempted to get out. Foot pain surged through my wrist as I did so. But still I did it again, and again, and again. Help me. Please. Let me out. Let me out. Please. I can't get out. Please. Finally I was let out. I struggled to catch my breath, as I was met with the face of Reginald. He looked quite shocked to see me in such a state. Mary? What happened? Are you alright? Where were you? Did you hear me screaming in there? No, I had someone knock on the door. I figured you'd be able to get on your own, so you look shaken. Just a little bit. I just got so nervous when I couldn't get out. I'm sorry. No, I'm the sorry one. Really, I'm so sorry. It was supposed to be nice, but I shouldn't have left you alone. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, okay? Yeah, you're really flopping here, Reginald. You really don't have to. It's alright. I'd feel bad. It wasn't your fault. It is my fault. Besides, I won't feel good about it unless I did something to make it up to you, okay? That's just how I am. I stayed for about less than an hour after that. It became pretty awkward after my little panic. Reginald still looked like he felt really bad. I told him I'd let him work in peace. He told me it was okay if I wanted to leave, but he'd like to see me again soon. We said our goodbyes and I left, not wanting him to feel any worse over it. I didn't do much the rest of the day. I had, well, planned around this. But now I didn't feel up for much at all. I went back home and decided to just relax. I was sure that once I was fully calm, what happened today wouldn't have seemed all that bad. I spent the rest of my evening at home. It was time for bed once again. Can't skip. I've got something to ask you again. Are you there? Yes, I'm here. I want to ask you something. You just did. What? No. Something different. Go ahead. Are you trapped? What do you mean by that? you're doing right now, it's because you want to. Or do you not have a choice? There's always a choice. Even if that choice is to do nothing. But the choice I've made was with the best intentions in mind. Good night, Mary. I went to bed after that. I don't know if it becoming easier to sleep at night is a good thing or a bad thing. Regardless, I slept. The days following were mostly uneventful, but I think that's probably a good thing. I don't need something to shake things up even more. First 2 days that passed, I did my usual hobbies. I went to the cemetery. I placed flowers. I planted flowers. I didn't really talk to anyone. But that was fine too. Well, the third day was raining, so I decided I would stay home. I decided to finally take out the manga I got from the library. I hadn't started yet, and today seemed like a perfect day too. I lit the fireplace as I cuddled up with the blanket next to it, expecting to spend quite a while sitting there. It was a thick book, but I was sure I could finish it all in one sitting. As for its content, well, it wasn't the best manga I've ever read. But it was still really interesting and captivated me nonetheless. The story was mostly lighthearted, and at some points even felt like a comedy. But I had just gotten to the part where it was a bit more serious, making me all the more invested. The main boy is hopelessly in love with the main girl. It was obvious enough from the start. Despite this, he didn't want to be her boyfriend. In fact, he didn't want to be in a relationship with her at all. The manga had been pretty comedic up until this point. It was mostly about the boy taking wild steps to keep the girl his friend, while also not wanting to evolve into more, or even insinuate he had feelings for her. He never explains why he doesn't want to date her, just that he doesn't. But now it appears the girl has grown feelings for him in return, making things all the more complicated. It looks like the boy is ready to confess the way he feels. Why he feels the way he did. I was completely immersed as I turned the page, only to be met with... What the fuck? That's rude! I hate it when that happens. There was one time... Yes, I'm a nerd, thank you. I got manga from the library, and somebody spilled, like, soup all over it. And it made, like, the pages crinkle and bad, and, like, the ink was smeared. And it sucked so bad. I couldn't even read the rest. I was so upset. Oh, terrible. I'm gonna vandalize the pages with some sort of black paint or nail polish, it seemed. Turn to the next page just to make sure the rest of the book was alright. Sure enough, the other pages were all scribbled in black, except for one. Portrait of Markov. There's a drawing on it, but it looked like some kind of writing underneath. It made me feel disappointed. I know it's not all that uncommon for edgy teenagers writing books and all, but still, this belonged to the library. Shouldn't damage it. Try to look at the bright side. I think that maybe it was a donation to the library instead. That someone had drawn on this book when they owned it, and donated it without realizing. Still though, did no one check to see if the book was in good enough shape to be donated? Well, nothing I could do about it now. I made a mental note to tell the library of the damaged book when I went next, and flipped back through the beginning pages to make sure I didn't miss any other marks. But when I did... You know? This isn't really what I wanted. Thursday, I was just looking at looked nothing like it did before. All the characters. It's like they were looking straight at me. Turned the page and it was the same. All eyes were on me. When I was startled, I had thrown the book away from me. But I didn't see where I was throwing. In a panic, I threw the book right into the fire. Oh no! No, no, no! I wanted to save it, but it was too late. Putting the fire out wouldn't have saved it. It was already pitch black and burned to an ash. I smacked myself in the head. I was always so careful with the library books, and now I just don't get completely destroyed. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Ugh. The book was beyond rescue. I still had to clean the fireplace now. I sat and gathered the proper tools to clean it. At the foot of the fireplace, I heard my phone go off. I picked it up shortly after, worried it might have been Croven needing something important. But it was Reginald once again. Well, with that lovely note, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.